At the end of the summer term in 2015, Robert Lamb retires as head teacher of King James's School. I caught up with him on a sunny April afternoon on the lawn in front of the schoolhouse, and I began by asking him if the job had lived up to his expectations.
It's lived up a lot more than I expected. I thought it'd be a good job, a great job to have such a fine school, a noted school, an historic school, and I've just loved every minute of it. It's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Loved it.
Looking back over the past 13 years or so, what are the high points you'll remember most clearly?
Ooh, high points. There's been loads of high points. Coming in every day is an high point. But if you had to sort of pin it down, top 3 high points, first one's got to be getting Science College status. Back
soon after you arrived, wasn't it?
That was just soon after I arrived. That was very important for the future of the school. The second one was the 400th anniversary, the Royal celebrations. That was fantastic. I loved that. And the third one was becoming an academy, because it sealed the future of the school for future generations.
The school has been an academy for how long?
Just over 2 years now.
So, summing up what it's been like being an academy, how has it differed from what you expected, and how has it been in line with your expectations?
For people working at the school, it hasn't changed anything. The only thing that they've noticed is probably better facilities, more staff being employed, but for anything else it just hasn't changed. It's given us more money, because as you know, we've always been the worst funded school in Kirklees, absolutely criminally so. But it's given us that little bit more money that we needed to do the things that we wanted to do, and it's been a godsend in a lot of respects, because without the extra money we would have struggled in the last few years to do anything at all and move the school on in the way that it has moved on.
How has it affected you personally, being an academy? Has it changed your work pattern?
I've had to learn a lot of new skills. I feel like a semi-skilled accountant at times, and having to deal with things that in the past was dealt with by the local authority. So even though we're buying services still, you still need to know more about the law, you still need to know more about running the accounts of a school instead of just a budget of the school. You need to know more about HR, because you've got to rely on yourself doing it all the time. I mean, we have employed people to do some of those jobs, and that's made it easier. But it's the freedom it's given us, allowing us to spend the money in exactly the way that we wanted to spend it, instead of having certain amounts of money being ring-fenced and we can't spend it on anything else but that particular development, you know, and that's tied our hands behind our backs a lot of times.
Has it meant you can't teach very much nowadays?
No, still teach.
What do you teach?
I still teach mathematics. This year I'm teaching 6 periods out of 30. Last year, because of certain circumstances, at one stage I was teaching 10 periods out of 30. I have never stopped in the teaching in the time I've been at the school. I think a head should teach. They are, after all, the head teacher, and they should set the standards. And even though I might not be able to use computers as well as some of the younger members of the staff, I can still get out there and teach, and I pride myself about the results they get and the progress that children in my class make. And I think, you know, I set that example, and I'm saying to everybody else, you know, it can be done, and this is what I expect of you.
To an outsider like me, Robert, there seem to have been so many government initiatives in education over the past 12 or 13 years. On the whole, have they been helpful or a hindrance?
Some of them have been helpful. I think the problem has been like you said, has been countless changes in that time. You know, 3 or 4 every year. You know, sometimes 3 or 4 every term, and it's just crazy. You just get used to doing something and trying to embed it in your normal work, and then they'll change the rules, and it's very frustrating at times. It's stopping you getting on with what we should be doing, is by educating children in this area, and a lot of it's politically sort of motivated, which is all wrong really. You can't play, I don't think, with the lives of children like that. But some of the things that have been introduced have been superb, and definitely have helped the school and the children who come to the school.
If you had a wish for the future, what sort of new government initiatives would you most like to see?
I like to see schools being properly funded. I like to see a national funding formula in all schools, because I think it's wrong where we could get, for example, around about £4,500 per child who comes to the school, and yet other schools within 5 miles of this school in the same local authority are getting £9,000 per pupil. Now that extra £4,500 for the number of children we have is an extra £4 million. It's, you know, what we could do at this school with that amount of money would be incredible. And I think you've got to get to the situation where all children, irrespective of where they live in the country, irrespective of the area that they live in, all get an equal chance. And unfortunately it's not happening at the moment in Britain.
And they've just had a major Ofsted inspection, Robert, and I believe it's been pretty successful.
Yes, it was, and we expect it to be good, because the last inspection we had was September 2009. So it was 5.5 years since that inspection. We are checked up in that time by the government, by Ofsted, by the DFE, to make sure that we're making the right progress, and they obviously were happy with the progress that the school was making in the interim. So they've left us alone. When they came, we thought that we would be on that cusp of being good and outstanding, and that's what it proved to be. We got outstanding for leadership and management, we got outstanding for the results of the school, we got outstanding for the safety and safeguarding of the children in the school. The two areas that we didn't get outstanding for was the behaviour of our children, which it was a joke really, because it was all about some books being scruffy. It wasn't anything what a man in the street would term as behaviour. It was nothing about that. They actually remarked that the behaviour of the children in class, on the corridors, outside was very good. You know, so it was a shame.
It wasn't outstanding. What was the verdict if it wasn't outstanding?
Well, basically what they did, they went through all the criteria for good, and they agreed that we were good in those areas. And then on the behaviour section, they started going through what was outstanding. Right. And they said that we got probably just short of half of the outstanding ones, but it wasn't a good enough fit to give us outstanding. So, you know, we were more than good, you know.
For the benefit of Almondburians like myself, who are not too familiar with Ofsted inspections, how are they undertaken? What exactly happens?
What happens is 4 ex-teachers, people probably still they are still in education, come into the school, and they delve into everything that the school does. So they'll go into lessons, they'll look at all our policies, they'll look at our results, they'll look at our finances, they'll look at the behaviour of the children.
And they have free access to everything?
They have free access to everything, and they will ask for and expect information at the click of an hand. You know, we want it straight away. So we've got to provide it, which is good. I mean, if you can provide that information, it shows that your leadership and management in the school is outstanding, and we managed to get the stuff to them straight away. But they delve into everything, and it's so minute detail they want to know. It was very interesting. I've been in a lot of Ofsted inspections in my time, but this was definitely the most. It was very, very difficult, and the detail was just incredible. It really was. I think we got a fair verdict. You know, I think that they said that we were very, very close to being outstanding, and that is fair. You know, on another day, somebody who was probably a little bit more lenient, because they definitely weren't the last team, they could have very well given us outstanding. But I think, to be honest, we are good with outstanding features.
And what is important, of course, is that it's still a very popular school as far as parents are concerned, wanting to send their children here. You're still very oversubscribed, I gather, at the moment.
Yeah, we're massively oversubscribed. We have around about 350 people applying for the 180 places. Now, when you consider in the local neighbourhood for the 4 schools which are ourselves and the 3 schools nearest to us, there are probably only about 380 people in that area. Then practically everybody who lives this side of Huddersfield is actually applying to go to King James's schools. Some of the other schools are so empty, it's unbelievable. You know, having less than 50 children. 2 of the other 3 have less than 80 children going into the school, and yet we can fill places with ease and have a massive waiting list. I'm looking forward to June now, because we get our first round of people appealing to the school, and the last I heard it filled in 3 full days. So That should be interesting. I would accept them all if I could, to chance to come to a great school like this, be educated at King James School. I think I would love more people to have that opportunity. We need to build more buildings to accommodate them though.
Looking through your excellent magazine, Robert, these days, I'm always struck by the vast number of what we used to call extramural activities, often fundraising in nature. And there's also things like school plays, of course, and visits and so on and so forth. You obviously give these very high priority here.
I said this as a joke, actually, it was true, but when I first came to the school, I was surprised how empty the school became very, very early. There were exceptions with activities going on here and there, but I'm used to coming from schools, there was an actual buzz about it after school had finished. So one of the 3 or 4 things I definitely wanted to do as soon as I came here was to make this school something where children could come in 8 o'clock in the morning and do something and still be doing something at 5 o'clock in the evening, and whatever it may be, whether it's sporting activities, whether it's extra lessons in certain subjects, opportunity to study other things, just anything that interests them. And I wanted that to go, and one of the things I said was I wanted staff to provide those activities. And now the school is really buzzing certain nights. We put on a free bus 3 nights a week, which takes children to the local area, so that it encourages them to come even in the dark nights. Consequence of that, some nights at 4:30, an hour after the school has finished, there are still 200 children in the school, which is, well over nearly 30% of the people in the school are still here, and they don't want to leave because the activities we put on are so exciting, and they love it. And it's a way to bring success, make the school be a place of excitement where the children want to go, so your attendance goes up, the behaviour in lessons will then improve. Just fantastic thing to do if you want to improve a school. Give the children an exciting time and make their childhood at King James School extremely memorable.
Are there any other memories that you'll take away with you?
I think there'll be a couple. I wish I could turn, well, I have to now and look at the building. I think one thing that I will take away with me is how beautiful the building is. Outside, definitely. You walk around it, you never get tired of it. Walking around the grounds is absolutely beautiful, and the views of the local countryside, absolutely magnificent. Walking in the school, so much history within the school, just seeing the different things that people in the past bring back. When I take ex-pupils of the school, some people who were here in the 50s, and they come round, they see things and they glint in their eye and they can tell me the stories. It's just fantastic, full of history. I mean, that's one thing I'll take back to that, but it's also the people. The people who come back to the school and remember it, what a fantastic school, remember how well the school served them when they went to school themselves. The people I've had the privilege of working with, people like Walter Raleigh, people like Patrick O'Brien, people like Angela Melling, absolutely stunning teachers, fantastic people. It's just an honour to work with those kind of people. They are true. Well, they're people that a lot of people, they worked at King James's so long, the people that they'll let people who will let forever associate with King James's School. They are legends, if you want, of King James School. And one last person I must mention is Leslie Walker, who served at the school since about 1971-72, first as a dinner lady, then she became the cook at the school, and then when she retired she went on to be a cleaner and a lunchtime supervisor. Absolutely brilliant, and she just loves the school, and it's the people you meet all the time. They'll be my memories, absolutely wonderful ones.
At the end of this term you'll be retiring. Do you have any words of advice for your successor?
I would say love every minute of it. Do things that you would expect people, treat people exactly the way you would expect to be treated. Don't make any rash decisions. Think about things thoroughly. Discuss things with people in the school who you can either trust or it will have a big impact on, and then make the right decision for the benefit of the children and the community. But enjoy every minute of it, because to be head of King James's School, or principal these days of King James's School, is a honour, and they should be really, really pleased that they are the head or the principal at a great school like this. fantastic.